this is the business of money. I feel that it's always important to emphasize these things for people who, there are many people who think they know a lot about money, but they don't. And so those are the people who are most susceptible to um, all the other wrong avenues of making money, handling money, or dealing with money. Now, I'm just going to go straight to the point, and the goal of this is so that we understand and have a new form of awareness for this time and for this season. So, what are some of the things you need to know about the business of money? Now, one of the things you need to understand is whether you are spiritual, okay, maybe whether you're a believer or you're an unbeliever. These are principles that will work for you regardless. Now, what that means is that once you understand money in the way I'm about to share with you, and you internalize it, and you begin to find ways to actualize it, then you have a very high chance of never being poor in your life. Now, it doesn't mean that it's all easy. However, it is simple. There's a difference between ease and simplicity. So it's important that we just put that out there. Now, one of the things you need to understand is that money does not come to everybody. However, everybody has the chance to make money. Money becomes attracted to people for different reasons. Some based on the knowledge they have, some based on their status or their makeup, some based off of the people they connect with or they're in alliance with, some based off of the covenants or the graces that speaks over their life, some based on where they live and the kind of opportunities they're accessible to for different reasons. But especially in the economic climate that we are experiencing this time, where it seems like a lot of things are scarce and people are not really getting the most of resources and money, what should you do? If that is part of the questions that is in your mind, and I think this is a very good place for you to be. Now, here is the business of money. I don't want you to see the business of money as buying and selling. It's way beyond that. So this is what I want to share with you today. But before I share it with you, I want you to understand a core concept. And it's going to come in the form of a question to you. What is the question? Here is the question. If you're on a dry land and you need, not that you want, you need water, you need access to water, what are some of the avenues in order to get water? Now, based off of your response gives maybe not a very clear shot, but a sense of your mentality towards money, towards getting money, and towards the kind of things you believe with regards to the search for getting money. Now, there's three major empirical senses in this. Number one, and you need to find out what category you're in. That will determine a whole lot of things as I continue here. The first category of people are those who will sit down, believe in the supernatural, and ask for rain, pray for rain, no matter how long it is. Now, these kind of people, they are at the mercy of the weather. It is when, so their prayer, the propensity of their prayer getting answered is more in the rainy season and less in the dry season. And so they will not always get the most, because when rain falls everywhere almost squarely. And so it will be difficult for you to have an amassment of volume of water that comes from rain. So that is one. There's a category of people who hope for rain and believe that rain is the solution to their water problem. The second category are people who understand that, okay, if I don't see water above, there is water below. And then they go into the exercise of getting contractors, spending to dig wells, and then hopefully find water. And then that well becomes what? A consistent supply of water for them. So that means that once they dig the well, even though it might cost a lot, take a lot of time, energy, and resources, once they get that sorted to a very large extent, they will constantly have a supply of water. That is the second category. The third category are the categories of people who begin to ask certain questions. What can I see on land? Where is water on land? And then the closest form of large bodies of waters are rivers. And so what they try to do, not much work of digging into the ground, they create a trench that connects where they are to where the river is. And based off of that trench, once they dig it and connect with the river, please follow me as I'm saying this. Once they connect with the river, the water from the river flows to where they are. And then that water creates an economy in that location. Now, based off of these three examples, the capacity or the volume of water that will be at the disposal of these people will be different. The quality of the water that will be at the disposal of these people will be different. So, for example, rainwater is pure water, obviously. It has been distilled and all of that goes up, comes down, but the volume is very small. The well water can be very dirty at first, but once you start using it, it gets clean. However, it's a water that does not move, stagnant water. It comes by capillarity. Now, the water that comes by the stream is water that comes from the large body of water that moves. So there is a current, there is a currency. And so the good water comes in, flows, the bad water flows out, and there's a continuous movement of water. Now, what does all of these things, what do they mean? And how does it determine you and the business of money? Follow me as I go. Now, the core thing you need to first understand about money is that you must learn to see money differently. Subconsciously, every time we think of money, we're always thinking of people giving us things. That is true to an extent, but if you are always with that mindset, you can't rise above certain levels. And so you need to begin to see money differently in order to appreciate and to be able to execute the business of money. Okay? Now, that being said, there is a natural pattern that I need you to understand with regards to how money flows. Money is not first tangible. Money is first intangible or spiritual or metaphysical, depending on your school of thought. So remember, everything that is physical first comes from the things that is not physical. Everything that is seen first comes from what is not seen. Everything tangible first comes from what is not tangible. Understanding that lets you understand that money flows from the unseen, intangible, non-physical to the physical, tangible, seen. Once you understand that, it means that for people who lack money, follow me, everyone who lacks money and subscribe to scarcity, subconsciously they believe that money does not come from spiritual. Money comes from interaction with man or with government. So if they don't have a job, they can't have money. If the government is not giving palliatives, they cannot have supplies. This is because they believe that money is first physical and all physical. But for people who want to create money and build an economy off of it and understand the business of money, you've got to realize that money is first spiritual, intangible, unseen, and then it moves to seen, tangible, physical. Now, that being said, here is the natural path, or here is a path in which money flows. And the volume of money you have control or access to depends on the path in which you are intersecting from. So you have the spiritual, everything starting from the spiritual. Now, from the spiritual, remember, unseen, intangible, then it moves to things that are tangible, things that are seen, and things that are physical. So from spiritual, there's a spiritual sense of money. There's a spiritual consciousness of money, okay? And then it moves from the spiritual into an idea. The idea, the concept of money some people have is the reason why they don't have enough and they can't have enough. Once your idea of money is flawed, it will affect the quality of money that comes to you, obviously, right? Okay, so we mentioned the spiritual, and then we've mentioned it moved from spiritual and then moves to an idea. Now, from idea, it moves to a thought. A thought is not the same as an idea. The idea of something is abstract, is amorphous. The thought about something is beginning to have form. Just like they used to say then that the atom was the smallest indivisible particle of an element. A thought is the smallest indivisible particle of manifested or soulish reality. Okay, so from spiritual reality moves to soulish reality and then physical reality. You get the drift. So from spirit to idea to thought and then to perception. It is the point of perception that determines whether you be a rich person or a poor person. If your perception of money is abundant, then that works for you. If your perception of money is scarce, then that's what comes to you. It is based off of the lens in which you see the world. That is what the world plays to you as. Okay? So from perception is more like, in design terms, is a prototype. This is what you want would look like. Okay, the dimensions and functionalities, benefits, and what have you. So that is perception. And then from perception now comes the material. That is the first physical, tangible version. Now, from material now comes value. Value is now what draws. Money, value is like the engine. If you have a 1 horsepower engine, it's a certain speed. If you have a 10 horsepower engine, it's a certain speed. So the speed at which money is attracted to you is based off of the concept and the what was it called? Sense of value that you can attract, pull, or create. How is value created? Value can be created in absentia or in presence, meaning that when you come into a space, you let people know your value, and then they would want to deal with you. Value can also be created in absence. When you leave a place, people see that certain things leave them. Life is not good, life is not rosy anymore. And so they understand and covet your presence. And then by reason of that, they continue to call to you that we need your presence. Think about this. Which of these will generate the most kind of money for you? From presence or from absence? Take some time to think about it. Now, one of the things you also have to understand is, what resources are you committing? For you to be present to make money, your time is being spent, your energy, your attention is being spent. And of course, you can make money from that. But one of the best forms is from your absence. This is what people sometimes call passive income, investment. Investment, you just set the rules and then the money goes to work. If you have to be present in order to make money, you cannot be wealthy. You can have money, but you cannot be wealthy. And so you need to understand that when you're conducting business with money, the template in which you use will determine the amount that comes to you eventually. Okay? So from spirit to idea, to thought, to perception, to material, and then to value. This is the path in which money flows. And so depending on the intersection you hit it from, that lets you have the quality or the volume of money that comes to you. Now, this really requires you to really think and see, based off of the quality of life I'm living and the quality of money that comes to me, where am I meeting money? At what junction? am I meeting money? Are you meeting money from the value junction? Are you meeting money from the perception junction? Are you meeting money from the material junction? Are you meeting money from the thought junction, the ideas junction, or the spiritual junction? Okay. And so, that being said, when you want to do business with money, one of the best ways is in the politics of money. Of course, there is the spirituality of money, but I don't want to be speaking in high level terms. So let's stick with politics of money. The business of money is this: you have a product or a service, you find people to sell it to, and then you get money from those people. So it is the money people have that they can give you. And that is the lowest level of money, the business of money. So the business of money is on different level. You can do business at the low level, that's person to person. You can do business at the political level, which is what I want to talk about now. Now, the political level of business talks about dealing with ideas, not with people. And you need to understand this. Not many people are doing it at that level because it's getting to be a radio show and you need some certain level of authority and power to do this. However, when you find yourself at this level and you are operating at the political level of money, it means what you drive is an idea, not a product. So if you are selling a product, sales is going to be one of the most important things to you. Sales and target market. If you are pushing an idea, marketing and PR, public relations, is going to be important to you. Because at the level of ideation, you are dealing with more people. And the good thing about the ideation, the politics of money, the idea, you are transacting in ideas, is that you have the propensity to influence a lot of people. I mentioned that at the lowest level, person to person, it is the product or the service you have that you sell to people, and people give you of the money they have. But at this level of ideas, people don't just give you the money they have. People go to create money and they bring the money to you. Or people create access for you to reach more. And this is the beauty of the political level of doing business. If you sell clothes, don't look for people to sell clothes to. Understand, sell the idea of fashion to people. And so obviously, you know that you must be skilled in this, in the game of influence. You must know how to tell a story, how to influence people. Social media must be like your platform and all of that. If you are a consultant, you are not just selling business solution. You are selling a monopoly. You are selling empires. You are selling systems to people. Obviously, you need to do a lot more work. You need to understand the systems and institutional structure in order to make that work. However, remember, what level are you? Are you the person praying for rain to fall? Are you the person digging a well? Or you connect with a river? Now, all of this is not you saying what you want. It is based off of your actions that determines which category you actually belong to. So, you must learn to do business with ideas. And remember, I've mentioned you can either sell success, the presence of success, or the absence of success to people. Meaning that, okay, people do business with you because they want to succeed. Or people do business with you because they don't want to fail. I can guarantee you, you will have more people doing business with you because they don't want to fail than people actually doing business with you because they want to succeed. And so once you begin to understand how to play with ideas, how to work with ideas, how to influence people through ideas, then you're in the business of making money. Remember, when you are making money, it means that you are looking for the channel through which money is flowing, and you direct that channel to you. That's what it means. Okay. So you must understand that your focus should not just be in products, but in ideas. So that's a higher level of operation. Obviously, it requires more skills, more teams, community-based things, and all of that. But once you can always start. Okay, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So you can make the decision now that I don't want to be poor. I want my family, my generation to be better off for it. And then you begin the process, and they will begin to guide you on each steps, and all of the things that you. So this is more like a shift in the mind, an awareness of mentality thing, so that you understand what is possible and then begin to connect with it. Okay. Now, beyond selling an idea, one of the things you also need to sell to attract people is a culture. And what is culture? Culture is the way of life of a certain group of people. Look at some of the most successful brands and companies. They don't sell products, they sell culture, they sell idea. Look at iPhone, for example. iPhone does not sell iPhone. iPhone sells class, sells status, sells inclusivity, and all of those things. And so you must understand what works with the kind of brand, kind of idea or product you will be pushing that supports that idea, and then know how to tell a story around it, and then make that story magnetic to people. Okay. So one of the things I learned in one of the sessions I had with a couple of HNIs, and it's something that struck with me, and I think it might find value with you as well. And that is the fact that in the business of money, the goal is to go for the money. I would explain this. A lot of people go for people. They're looking for people who will buy my product, who will buy what I'm selling. You post things on WhatsApp, and your goal, your subconscious desire is that people see it. When you do that, it means you are selling to people. It's a people-to-people business, and that's the lowest level. However, what you should do instead is to look for money. What this means is, where is money going? Where is money moving to? When you read the news, you're not looking for people in the news. You're looking for money. For example, if there is war does not mean that I need you to see things from the perspective of money. War does not mean that there's no more money in the land. It means that a lot of money has moved from the hands of people to somewhere else. And where does money go? Ammunitions. And then whoever is winning the war is having more money because it's already taking more spoils. And so you need to begin to think in that line. Okay. Recently, there's a whole lot more money on social media than offline. Offline is old money. And so if you are looking to connect with money, you have to be close to where the money is. And that's social media. Now, what are you doing on social media? Are you looking for people or you are looking for money? The thing is that if you are looking for people, you've short-circuited yourself. But if you are looking for money, what that does to you is that the money will show you the people. You don't understand what I'm saying? Okay. How can I explain it a bit more? Money is always in the hands of people. But the problem is that many of the people you are trying to sell to don't have the kind of money you want. And so if you settle at that level, you have created a lead over your head. And it means that there's a certain level of money you cannot touch, you cannot have, you cannot do business with. So what you need to do is find the money, follow the money, and let the money guide you to the right people. Just like you need to find the river, and then when you intersect with the river, a channel from that river body will find its place to you. This is the business of money, and this is how you need to conduct yourself in this season. Now, obviously, I cannot say all that I need to say in a singular session. It's one of the reasons why from time to time I break these things down. And the goal of it is to bring that awareness, to make us to see things in a different light, and hopefully to change the kind of our pursuit. Oh man. If you are chasing after people, the way you sell, it will be determined by the way you sell. If you are looking after money, the way you sell will be different. The way you look, the way you brand, your perception is going to matter. The kind of places you do business, the kind of products you have, the kind of negotiations you have. So imagine if you are looking for people and you try to sell a product and the person says, oh, come on, this is too expensive. You're like, oh, okay, let me bring down the price so that the people will get it. That means it's a people-centered business. But if you're like, this is the price, and person, oh, come on, this is too expensive. In your mind, it's already registered, this is not the kind of person that has my money. And then you sieve out those people so that they don't create a lead over your head. And then it enables you to ascend to people who have those levels. Okay. So this is very important. When you're looking at the business of money, you must look at it from the angle of money. And in closing, this is one of the parts where a lot of religious people miss it. Because I always say this, you use religious principles to do money matters. They are different things. The jurisdiction of money is different from jurisdiction of religion. Religion is salvation of your souls. Be right with God, you go to heaven, you're fine. Money is how do you express the kingdom well, excellently on the earth. And so you must understand that you cannot be mediocre. You cannot be low level. You cannot be shabby. There must be a way you talk. There must be certain contents that interest you. Let me put it this way. Every time you see something people enjoy, always look at where the money is going. Because when you're money conscious, when you're looking for money, that's what you are trending, that's what you're checking. So imagine people who bet. Where is the money going? A lot of people have the hopes of winning the big prize, and then they put money into it. The money gets sucked into the system, and they do a lot of razzmatazz, marketing and all, and then just a small percent comes back to the person, to one person or a few people, in order to just stir up hope so that cycle can continue. You have to master the money game. Now, mastering the money game is like finding the river. Not everybody gets to find the river. That is why a lot of people resort to praying for rain. Or some people don't want to do so much stress. They just start digging for water. But I can tell you, the quality of the kind of money that believers are supposed to command and control is not in rain. It's not in wells. It's in rivers. And so you must find the rivers. You must find the money. You must begin to think differently from normal people. By normal people, I mean like the lowest bottom of the masses, and begin to think in terms of politics, in terms of influence, in terms of ideas. Every time there is a platform that brings a lot of people together, it's because that platform is running on an idea or selling a culture. And so, if you also want to be in that game, you must begin to be a merchant of ideas and culture. So think about it. Based off of your skills, your businesses, or whatever it is that you do, what are the ideas and what is the culture that will sustain the new economy you're trying to build? Now, this is the assignment and this is the question I have for you. And so in the group, I would want us to talk about these things and begin to see how you can begin to create things. Now, it may be hard at the beginning. Obviously, to get a trench to a river is hard. To dig for a well is hard. If you expect things to be all easy, then you are part of those praying for rain and you are only at the mercy of the weather. And so, yes, there will be hard steps at the beginning, but focus on what is most important. You're looking for that channel. You're looking for that river. You're looking for that abundance, unlimited resource. And once you find it, remember, just like Isaac, when he was digging for wells, at a point there was contention, he stopped. Another time he started again, there was contention again, he stopped. Another time he started building, and then there was no contention. And he said, oh, yes, now this is a Rehoboth. It's similar. If you start building, you will engage warfare, you engage contention in some type of shadow. It is all those things are building the right kind of qualities in you for someone who will be able to manage that abundance. Okay, so this is one of the things I just want to share with you, and this is the core of the business of money. Once you understand it and you are able to start trading on this path, then in the next couple of years, you are building for yourself something that can serve you and your generations. This is the goal of the LAMAD Africa community, to bring you into an understanding of influence, wealth, affluence, through intelligence, through knowledge and sessions like this, where you can begin to acquire wisdom you can use for personal good, to build yourself, to build your community, and to collaborate with like-minded people in order to make this happen for you. Okay, so remember, the question for the day is, based off of what you feel you can do, and let me just say this, many of the businesses some of you are doing cannot give you abundance. There's a kind of business that gives abundance. Remember, if it is just people to people, it's a low level. Begin to think ideas and culture. What can you do to sell an idea? What can you do to sell a culture in such a way that, like positive and negative ends, the idea and the culture would begin to create a charge, and then that charge will form electricity, moving electrons, and then from that, current is formed, currency, and then an economy comes from that. Okay? If you have any questions, please hit me up in the group and I'll be more than happy to respond. But I really want you to sit down upon this, watch it a couple of times if possible. Take your notes, and I really love to know what are the things that really stand out to you during this session. Till the next time we see again, wealth is not for the few. Wealth is for those who understand the business of money. I've opened to you an access point into doing that business. It is for you to take it, and then we'll see you on the other side. Ciao, and God bless.